Have you heard of the Divine Nine? Well, here they are. Deltas, Qs, Zetas, Sigmas, Sigma Gamma Rho, Kappas, Iota Phi Beta. Yes, the Divine Nine. These are the predominantly Black sororities and fraternities. There are tons of other sororities and fraternities out there, not just these 9. These were created specifically for Black people when they were not being able to be accepted into the predominantly white fraternities and sororities. Today, I'm going to tell you why I did not pledge a sorority. I started out my college at Florida A&M University, and it seems like everybody knew everything about sororities and fraternities. There were the big things on campus, and it seems like that's what you needed to do when you are in college, to pledge a sorority and a fraternity. Let me know in the comment section below if you're a member of a sorority or a fraternity. And I didn't pledge anything. This is our young pledging. What I pledged was me, fi, me. That's exactly what I pledged in college. I did not pledge nothing but myself. I pledged my allegiance to myself, and here is why. The number one reason, honestly, is I just didn't come from a legacy of fraternities and sororities. My parents were immigrants from Jamaica, and that I didn't even know this thing existed. I'm gonna tell you all a story about it a little later on. I had no idea these things existed, and because it was not something that I felt I needed. It just didn't even occur in my mind that, oh, that's what people do when they go to college. They need to join this club with these other people that they dress like. It just wasn't a thing in my mind that happened in college. Number 2 is, at the time, not knowing what it was about and not really fully understanding, I know a lot of people use fraternities and sororities, use sororities for networking. I was a teenager. Who knew about networking? You're just going to school, you get your degree, and you took your tests, and you did well, and you submit your application, and that's how you got ahead. I didn't know that in the behind the scenes, people were pulling strings, friend of a friend, friend of a dad. My dad was in the same, was your dad's line brother or line sister and all of that. I didn't know about the networking opportunities that fraternities and sororities offered you. Would I have done it had I fully understood that then? I don't know, because, your girl got Jesus. And he be hooking her up with some stuff that she don't even deserve. So I don't know. Would I? Who knows? Number 3, this one is crazy. I remember sitting in Plantation High School library. Y'all know I went to Plantation High School. That's where I graduated from. And this girl was telling me something about a sorority. I know I just said I didn't know nothing about it. When I say I didn't know, it was just not, I heard rumors, rumblings. I just didn't fully understand the whole thing. And it really started in this whole Plantation library thing. She was telling me something about these AKAs and deltas, and I was just so confused. Honestly, this was like the first time I've ever heard sorority and fraternity. And she was saying, oh yeah, they beat you up in order to join it. And I heard that they've made this girl put a banana up her you-know-what. And that was part of the hazing. I'm like, what? Huh? What? Okay, so when she said that, I was just like, oh, no, 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 no. And when I went to school, that's all I had in my head, just picturing all these girls clamoring to join this thing. Are they coming out there on the Florida A&M set? I told you about the set before. And I was thinking, I wonder if she had to do the banana thing. I don't know. It's a secret society. I don't even know if it was true or not. This is just what a little high school student in the high school library told me about, and I was flabbergasted. Flabbergasted, I was. Number 4 reason why I never joined a sorority is I'm an individual. I tried to be normal once. I tried to be just like everybody else. I just don't give off those vibes of being with the same set of people, wearing the same set of clothes, having to do the same set of things. There is something about it. Actually, when I got on the campus and began to see the interactions of the sorority, I was fascinated by it. And then repulsed, that's not the word, repelled, pushed, taken aback. There was this idea of everybody kind of being the same. And I know that thought is not correct because I met a lot of people subsequently as an older person. But that's what I felt of 16. I went to college at 16. That's a 16-year-old brain. This is what I thought. Why they all walking around looking just like each other? Then we leave that behind in high school, and I just wasn't interested in being just like somebody else. And number 5 is going back to the banana thing. A lot of the sororities especially, what was the words that were going around was like, they had a reputation of being like hoes. Listen, once again, this is just what people were saying. I had no idea. I had no experience with fraternity and sororities. Remember that. Nobody in my family. I didn't know I knew not one single soul. You know what? I feel like, was there the debutante thing? I feel like I had some sort of invitation to a debutante thing at some thing before in high school. I didn't understand it. I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea. It is like somebody telling you to, let me see, something just weird. Not weird, but it's like you're joining a sport and you know nothing about the rules. I knew nothing. Rugby. I don't know nothing about rugby. I could see it and identify it as rugby. I didn't know anything about this. I just heard it randomly. It was just, and I'm sorry, I'm putting out all kinds of disclaimers. I'm just saying, that's just what the rumors on the street were, that most of the girls in the sororities were. Was that true? Of course it wasn't. But that was what it was out there. And I didn't want to be associated with nobody an organization that had a reputation to be hoes. That's not me. Next one. Apparently, it cost a lot of money. Now, I had heard rumblings about this just as people were joining these things. I didn't know it was a whole process to it. I'm lazy. Now, then I can't say really fully that that's the reason I didn't join, because I didn't know. This is one of those hindsights. It's 2020 Monday morning quarterback now. Now that I've heard that it was a whole process of getting recommendations and paying all this money, I was lazy. I was a lazy teenager. There is no way in God's green, ever-loving earth I would have made it through that whole entire process. I just know I wouldn't. I knew myself then. Maybe now, because I'm a pageant girl, and being in a pageant requires a lot of money and applications and things like that. But back then, there is no way the Denise of old, Denise of 88, 89, 90 would have ever gone through that whole process to join a group there where she wasn't going to be an individual. It was just not going to happen. Number 7, hazing. Now, this is a whole banana thing again, but apparently that's not the only thing. I heard that they were beating you with clubs, not clubs, like paddles. They'll beat you, like spank you, like a grown adult. They'll spank you. These are just things I've heard. I didn't see it. I didn't know it. And then you couldn't sleep. You couldn't eat. You had to sit there and almost be tortured to join this thing. So, I mean, I sometimes refer to some of the training that we went through as a doctor. Like, it felt like hazing. We had to be up almost like 2 days in a row, and you're working the whole night. And then when you finish in the next morning, you got around and they're pimping you. That's the term that we use when you're attending the head of the group of doctors. They call them the attending, where they're like firing questions at you. What's the sodium? Why did it go down? What was the sodium 6 days ago? Tell me 5 reasons why their sodium could be high. Tell me 5 reasons why their sodium could be low. What medication? And they're just firing questions at you, and it's called pimping. And I sometimes, when I see what we went through to become a doctor, and I hear, because I didn't experience it, what it takes to become a member of a sorority or fraternity, I'm like, I think we were hazing, right? And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna go through that. I mean, at least at the end of it, I became a doctor, and I kind of knew that we had to go through a lot to become a doctor, but just to join a club, maybe there's more to it. Like benefits to joining this club that you would endure hazing. But once again, it's a secret society. We don't even know what any of the hazing is fully about. There are people that usually kind of drop hints, but we usually never fully know what it's all about. Number 8, I left Florida A&M after a year and a half. And honestly, the school I went to afterwards, they did not have sororities or fraternities. And so I did not have the opportunity to even be pulled into one anymore. Maybe some of the preconceived notions that I had would have fallen away had I had more time to interact with people in sororities and fraternities. I just didn't. The school that I went to afterwards did not have those. Of course, they have grad chapters. Had I maybe learned some more information, maybe I would have done that. But no, it's not. It was just not a part of my makeup. And then number 9 is don't they mess with the occult, right? That's what I heard. Anyway, did you all see the girl recently? She did a whole expose on what is the word? Reneged? That's not the word. She pulled, right after she finished crossing into being AKA, she dropped out immediately and sent this letter talking about how it's against her Christian beliefs. And she just didn't know what she was signing up for, sort of. I don't want to misquote her letter. It was a full letter. You can look it up on the internet. Maybe I could have pulled it up today. I didn't, but you could look it up. She pledged AKA, and I believe is some at Howard. Man, I'm sorry. In her letter, she talked about something about having to bow down to like a goddess Minerva. And I hope I'm saying it correctly. And that seems a little odd, right? And people were mad that she was giving out the secrets. All this time, we did hear rumors that sororities and fraternities did things that were more occult-like. And when she threw this out, it was just like, oh man, maybe I was right. I don't know. Once again, these are just, who knows? But that was the rumors out there about for sororities and fraternities. And, I'm a Christian. I didn't really want any part of that to begin with. I mean, if it was just another reason on top of all the other ones, this one for sure made it not seem like something appealing for me to go into. And the last reason was, while I was in college, this was a time where I really cemented my relationship with God. I was so focused on connecting with God in a deep level, spending time reading the Bible and developing myself as a Christian, I really don't feel that these organizations would have fully aligned with how I felt at the time. Those are my reasons. I mean, if you have joined a sorority and a fraternity, let me know in the comment section below why you decided to join it.